Our beloved 8% Hard AF Seltzer is now live in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Ohio, Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Illinois. Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, and enter your city or zip to find the closest location nearest you.
We are gold for energy. Send it. Incoming. Put the money in the bag, man.
As I said, your paycheck is your thank you.
What's going on back there? This is awesome! Welcome to Earth! No. Who's flying the plane? Get cockpit. Go. God.
Black Rifle Energy, dropping near you.
Welcome to Drinkin Bros, presented by OmahaSteaks.com. Yeah, welcome to Drinkin Bros Sports Fantasy Football 2025 preview show, brought to you by MyBookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles that first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Get off the couch and get into the action today with MyBookie.com. And yes, you can bet on your favorite players on a weekly basis over there on MyBookie. And that's not only the NFL, but that is college as well. However, today is about fantasy football, Danthony, and we've got the best to ever do it on the show today, in my opinion. Josh McClurg is here. Look at you. Round of applause for Josh McClurg, all right? Josh, how are you? Where are you at today?
I am doing fantastic. I am in San Ynez, California, at San Ynez High School right now.
God bless you. Now, you're a high school football coach in real life, correct?
Yeah, I'm a high school football coach, and I'm the athletic director.
Not just in real life, but also on television.
Yeah, now you're on TV, dude.
Yeah.
So you're here.
This is Hard Knocks High School edition.
Yes. And I made a promise and a bet to you last year. Always keep my bets here on the show. You had said, dude, if I win this year, you've got to rename the league after me, which we have. This will now be the Josh McClurg DB Sports Fantasy Football League instead of the Cutthroat Killers League. However, you will have to have won 3 titles to enter. You said there is no other league if I win. That is true. However, Danthony's with us, and he won his league. So Dan will now be in this league with us. We'll be drafting on Labor Day nights. I'll put a post up in Drinkin Bros Sports. There'll only be one league because of this fucking guy. Josh, how long have you been playing with us here in fantasy football for Drinkin Bros Sports?
The entire time, so 5 years. I got in lucky because the hometown newspaper here did a local celebrity thing, and it's asked, who's your favorite author? And I put, or what's your favorite book? And I put At Night She Cries While He Rides a Steed by St. James Street James. And then I screenshotted it, sent it to you, tagged you on Instagram, and then I had Matt send it to you. And I said, hey, I think that your favorite high school football coach should be in the league. And that's how I got in the first time.
Yeah, you were Matt Best's cousin, which I didn't know. I had read that blurb. I thought it was hilarious. And Matt goes, hey, dude, you know that's my cousin, right? And I go, no, I don't. And I'm like, he's actually really fucking good at fantasy football. So I told Matt, I was like, he's really good at fantasy football.
Oh, yeah. I just talked about it the other day. And I said, hey, make sure you give Ross a hard time that I won again. Make sure you remind him.
Yeah, for sure, which you did. So you know the rules here. We always go through last year's teams, and I can't believe you beat me here. So let's go through your draft from last year, and then I'll go through my draft, and then Dan will go through his draft after that.
Perfect. First round, I took Jahmyr Gibbs, and I think I had pick 8. So he fell all the way to pick. Oh no, I didn't have. Yeah, I had pick 8, and then my second pick on the way back, I got Jamar Chase. So
Jesus
right there,
Christ.
you have like number 1 receiver, top 3 running back. Round 3, I went with Laporta, which kind of broke my rule of getting 2 skill guys from the same team.
Yeah, well, with Sam Laporta, didn't he have the best statistical season for tight ends last year?
I think it was the year before, because I think Brock Bowers last year might have. I can't remember.
Ah, you're right. I forgot. Dude, I always forget about Brock Bowers because he plays for the Raiders.
But yeah, they're inconsequential. Yeah, so I took Laporta, and then I am a Lions fan. I've been a Lions fan since 8th grade when they drafted Barry Sanders. So that's when I became a Lions fan. So then I drafted Malik Neighbors with my 4th pick. And then I broke my rule in taking a quarterback pre-7th round, and I took C.J. Stroud because he had such a good year the year before he got hurt, and he just kind of shit the bed. Then Pickens, Jalen Warren, Xavier Worthy, Chase Brown. Chase Brown was a huge pick because he had a great fantasy year last year. Brock Bowers, tight end in round 10. Then I took Caleb Williams, Trey Benson, Curtis Samuel, Dolphins defense, Jake Moody, and then the Jaguars defense. Half those guys I dropped and just picked up, flyers each week based on matchups.
Why Chase Brown? That's an interesting pick to me. I didn't have him anywhere on my radar whatsoever.
So when we got there, I totally remember it. My buddy who I coach with, Sean Foy, we were talking, and he's really good at fantasy football too because he has a wife that makes a lot of money, and he's retired. He's a stay-at-home house dad. So that's all he does. And we were talking, and I liked Chase Brown when I was watching him in the preseason. I'm like, this guy's explosive. I think I'm going to take him with late round as a 3rd or 4th running back. And it's just one of those lucky things that happens,
Yeah, because I watch a lot of preseason football for this exact reason. People make fun of me for it, but I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to get the edge on fantasy football players so I can win my league and beat Josh McClurg. Because I gave up on all the other leagues. This is pretty much, I play in this one and, not anymore this year. Sorry, Craigers, but I play in Craig Dulesky's league usually because it's the Lovable Losers League. And I still cannot believe I lost with this roster. So
what was yours?
I'll go over my first pick. And I had pick 7 last year. So not great. I'm in the swamp.
Yeah, I was right after you. I had pick 8. You had 7.
Yes. First pick. Saquon Barkley.
Great pick.
How did I not? I mean, just him alone. How did I not win the fucking league? Second greatest statistical season in NFL history. Endless touchdowns, endless. I mean, he was incredible. I didn't even make the playoffs, by the way, in this league, which is fucking insane. With Saquon Barkley. Next pick was Puka Nacua, the wide receiver from the Rams. Lights outs. Had a lot of injuries last year, so it kind of boned me. But after that, Patrick Mahomes. So I had Patrick Mahomes, Nacua, and Barkley. And I was like, great, I'm on my way. This is going to be a fun fucking season. Mahomes actually shit the bed last year as far as fantasy was concerned. I know that he led them to the Super Bowl and everything else. However, fantasy football-wise, he averaged 16 points a game, and there was a lot of kickers who were averaging more points than Pat Mahomes was.
Especially these days, because everybody's kicking from 50-plus routinely.
Yeah.
That's not like even a thing anymore for somebody to go out and kick a 54-yarder. You expect them to make it most of the time. I actually think the league-wide average on kicks over 50 yards was 80% or something last year. I have to check that. I'll do it while you guys are doing this.
Yeah, because last night's preseason game, Josh. We were watching it.
74.3%.
74.3% on kicks or on field goals over 50 yards last year.
Insane. So, do you almost move up and draft a kicker earlier? That just wasn't a thing 10 years ago, let alone when I was growing up, 30 years ago, whatever. Josh. But it wasn't a thing, and most kickers average more than Pat Mahomes, which was a shocker. Next pick was Devonta Smith from the Eagles. Fucking A. Great team so far. Next pick, Aaron Jones from the Vikings. Great running back. I believe he had over 1,000 yards last year. Shit ton of touchdowns. Had a few fumbles here and there. Next up was T. Higgins, Cincinnati. Next up was Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler was my next pick for the Redskins. Had a decent year as well. Next up after that was Nick Chubb. I had Nick Chubb, and then I took Jerome Ford. Chubb was going to be out the first 4 games. Jerome Ford started, and then I put Chubb in. So then Jerome Ford was my handcuff, which I always take a handcuff for one of my most valuable running backs and then keep them on the bench the rest of the year, just in case. But he ended up starting the first 4 games. Next up, this one hurt me. This one really hurt me. It was, and I try to do this a lot. I try to pair up a wide receiver with a quarterback. It was Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown broke his leg in, I think, preseason and never played the entire year. So, gone. One of my top receivers gone. That one hurts. Next up was Taysom Hill, tight end for the Saints. I took him as a cheat code because sometimes he plays wide receiver, sometimes he plays quarterback, and you do get points for all of it in ESPN Fantasy Football League. So that was one of my favorite picks. Same thing, he got hurt. He was hurt most of the year, and then when he came back, he ended up doing some cool shit, but by then, too little, too late. The Jets defense. Now, that's my own fault there. Aaron Rodgers went down, and that was it for me. Jets defense was on the field over and over and over again. They have an elite defense. However, you can't be on the field 90 fucking plays a game. You're going to get gassed. They were gassed, and it showed. Backup tight end was Cole Kmet from your boy, Caleb Williams. That was his tight end there. Not a bad year. Backup quarterback was Justin Fields. He ended up getting benched after 4 weeks, for Russell Wilson. So I picked up somebody off of waivers. No big deal because I had Patrick Mahomes. Then I had Jalen Hyatt from the Giants. And then last but not least was a kicker, Cameron Dicker from the Chargers. Now, Dicker the kicker holds a special place in my heart because he plays right up the road. He played at Lake Travis here right up the road. And always a solid kicker. Dan, you won your league. Mm-hmm. Who did you draft in yours?
So I was pick 11, which is also not great.
I don't mind it for a snake draft for the turnaround because then you get to pick up somebody else.
It's still kind of rough. But I started with A.J. Brown. He had 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns. Where is it? Jameer Gibbs was my second pick.
Man,
on the backside.
Isn't that crazy? He got Gibbs in the second round, dude.
1,400 yards, a dozen, I think, touchdowns. I got James Cook with my third pick. Travis Kelce with my fourth. I got T. Higgins.
Yep.
And I took Dak Prescott. And then I got my handcuff, who was David Montgomery. And that is the best handcuff in the history of fantasy football.
Has to be.
There's never been 2 running backs on the same team that did what those 2 did last year. And remember, Montgomery didn't even play, I think, the last 3 games, maybe.
Yeah, so did you start both of them every week?
I had Montgomery in the flex a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Not every week, but most weeks. Every now, like if they had obviously they had a bye, but then I had Christian Watson. He was okay. I like having those guys that are like when I start drafting skill position, especially wide receiver, tight end people later in the draft, I'm looking for somebody that knows the quarterback, that's played with them a lot. That's like a security blanket for them because they always get passes.
Yeah.
What's his nuts? That's over at the Jets now. That was with the Packers with Aaron Rodgers all those years. What the hell's his name?
Oh, Lazard.
Yeah, Alan Lazard. Yeah, he was. I picked him up in a lot of previous drafts for that reason.
Yep.
Because I knew if Aaron Rodgers panics, he throws to him. That's his free points, basically, especially in a PPR league. Jordan Addison was my next one. I got him in the 9th round,
Jesus
which
Christ.
is fucking crazy. You're not getting him in the 9th round this year. I promise you that.
No, and I think, was he a rookie last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
My next pick was Ezekiel Elliott. Meh on that one. I figured with Pollard fucking off to Tennessee, you would get a lot more out of him, but that team was fucked up all season. Then I had Brandon Cooks, kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
He did all right last year. I had Tua as well.
Okay.
And when he was available, I mean, I had Dak, who was around most of the year, and they lost everything, so he put up pretty good numbers.
Yeah, I think he tore his, hamstring? I think he missed, the last 8 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And then I had Tua in there. Then I had some...
Tua had a decent second half of the year, so, yeah.
Got the Lions defense, which I knew would be good because they can run the ball so well, and they put up a lot of points for me. Not that their defense they have good secondary and they have good pass rush. Their linebackers are okay. But the fact that they were going to be off the field a lot translates. It isn't just about how great the defense is, right? So this year, for example, a lot of people are going to want to take Pittsburgh's defense, and maybe that's a good play. Maybe it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not. If Aaron Rodgers can't get first downs, it's a bad play, despite the fact that they have one of the best defenses on paper that I've ever seen in my life.
That's what happened to me with the Jets last year, man.
Yeah. And then I had Ty Conklin was my backup tight end. Fucking great. Yeah. He's one of the best pass catchers at that position. And he's over with the Chargers now, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He went to the Chargers. Cameron Dicker was my kicker as well.
There you go. Dicker the kicker, dude.
And Demarcus Robinson was my last pick at wide receiver.
Okay.
Just a flyer.
Yeah.
Like the last person you pick if you've already got your kicker, because I was on the snake right there.
Yep.
So if you've already got your kicker, there's no point in you'd be strategic, but I just take somebody that I think might have some upside.
Yeah, and I mean,
my team name was the Hard R's.
The Hard R's was yours? Mine was Gene Gon Come. Josh, since you're at school, I won't make you say your team name out loud, okay?
No, I can say it. I'm in my office. It's shut. I was the No Homos as a nod to my gang. That was my gang in San Quentin. I think it was like 60, 70 years ago, 80 years ago.
Sure. Yeah, I remember that gang, dude. You guys were fierce, man, in that jail. Holy shit, up there in California.
I met my match, though.
Yeah, so look, the reason why I wanted to have you on the show, not because you're great, not because you won all the bets and all the things, and there's going to be a league named after you. Will you hold up that championship belt there that you got engraved? Because you made me get you a belt that said the GOAT on it with your fucking name, and there it is. You got the strap. I think it's beautiful, by the way. It took a couple months to get made. Shout out to Trophy Smack, by the way. They were on the show years ago. They've always stayed in touch, and we reached out to those guys, and I said, look, let's have your best and brightest here. McClurg has done it, and congratulations. You are the undisputed GOAT. So how many titles have you won now? In
the Cutthroat Killers, or the DB won 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5, and then you were in the championship the other 2 years?
Yep, I've been in the championship every year.
Okay, so let's start with the first year, because you and I were talking shit back and forth here, and I had you. It was one of those, and ESPN is one of those things where it's a 2-week system.
Yeah.
Do you remember what happened to me? Because I was up by a lot I was up by 23 going into the final week, and I was like, you're fucking done, dude.
I can't remember exactly. I know you had Mahomes, because I think that was like your first pick that year.
Yep.
And I think you had injuries going. It was it Gurley?
It was Todd Gurley, dude, who was having a record season.
Was it even an injury? He just decided to sit out, didn't he, or something?
No,
like
he had a knee injury, and you ended up picking up the backup off of waivers.
Was it Eckler back then?
I think it was Cam Akers.
Oh, Cam Akers, yeah.
And the last game of the year, he had like 200 yards rushing. You beat me by going to the waiver wire and getting my own backup running back and then starting him, and he went off for like 200 yards and like 3 times. It was the craziest game of all time, and I still only lost by like 6. I'm pissed off about it to this very day because, man, it was a great move, and the waiver wire system, the way it works, is draft order. It was one position, dude. I was 7, you were 8. You got to pick before me off the waiver wire, and you took my fucking dude because Todd Gurley, I think, was in the running for the MVP that year.
He got it. I don't know. I know he was having an MVP season.
He might have. Look up Todd Gurley, Bob. Did he win an MVP? Because he
definitely won like a Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he had a really fucking. I mean, dude, there was a good 4 or 5 year run with Gurley where he was incredible.
Was that 17?
I believe so.
So he was a first-team All-Pro.
He won.
In
He was Offensive
18.
Player of the Year, but he wasn't the MVP.
Okay. Who was the MVP that year?
2017?
Yeah, it was probably Mahomes then, right?
I think it was Brady, actually.
Was it really?
That was Tampa Bay year, wasn't it?
No.
That was the year they lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It was Tom Brady.
Yeah, fucking A, dude. That's crazy. And neither of us drafted Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So
I'm not big on drafting big name quarterbacks anyways, though. I usually wait till the 7th or 8th round, 6th, 7th, or 8th. Especially like in these leagues where like the Cutthroat Killers League, I was telling my buddy about it. It's really good players. Like people draft well. And so when people draft well, I want to get there's like 6 to 10 running backs that are gonna get the bulk of the carries, and you got to start 2 of them. So there's a ton of 32 quarterbacks, and there's only 12 people. So if people start reaching for quarterbacks early, I feel it's a way to get another top tier wide receiver or running back, and just kind of wait for a middle tier quarterback. If you're not going to get the top 3 guys, like, why stretch for a quarterback?
Yeah, man, I've never seen that strategy implemented. You've executed it perfectly. And let's face it, Caleb Williams had an okay year, but, like, nothing to set the world on fire. Who was the best quarterback last year in the league?
Burrow?
Oh, that's right, Joe Burrow. Shit. How did that guy not win? Who had Joe Burrow? Burrow had, 40 fucking touchdowns?
Because Josh Allen went from, like...
Oh, you're right.
28 touchdowns and 12 picks to like 40 touchdowns and 6 picks.
And he had rushing touchdowns too. Yeah.
He was, I think if you include the stuff, what he did with his legs, Allen had the best season.
Actually, Burrow, according to this list, is 3rd. It was Lamar Jackson last year was number 1.
Well, another
running
runner,
yards,
right?
Yeah, and then Allen was 2, and Burrow.
Oh no,
was,
sorry, Josh Allen had 28 touchdowns passing, 6 interceptions, but rushing he had another 12. And 531 yards on the ground.
God.
Yeah,
So he had 40 total touchdowns and 6 picks.
By the way, I can tell you the number 4 fantasy quarterback.
And no lost
last year.
fumbles, too. So only 6
Daniel?
total turnovers.
Yeah, go ahead.
Number 4, 4th best fantasy football quarterback last year, Baker Mayfield.
That's not surprising.
That's not surprising.
I mean,
man.
Godwin didn't go down until late.
No.
Evans was out a little bit early, but he came back. So, yeah, having Godwin and Evans, Baker is probably a good selection for this year. Godwin's not back until like week 4 or to 6 sometime.
Yeah.
But Evans and Emeka Buka to start out the season.
Oh, boy. That is going to be, I mean, dude, you want points and you're playing in a shitty division like that. Like, and I'm saying this as a Falcons fan, like, we're the biggest losers on the face of the fucking planet, man. I mean,
Sure.
I know Bijan Robinson is going first in a lot of mock drafts right now, and rightfully so. If they don't run him into the fucking ground, I'm going to be mad as a fan, because why did we waste the 5th pick in the draft with a running back that we're not going to use and kind of split time with Algier? And a lot of the times Algier was starting over Bijan. I don't really understand that. I hate the coaches. I hate the whole organization, but that's my team, and there's nothing I can fucking do about it. But this year, as I look at this, I think Burrow will probably go in the first round. What do you think, Josh?
He might. I'm not going to touch him. I think if you don't get Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Daniels, guys that have that they're going to score rushing touchdowns as well as big play rushing touchdowns and passing, I mean, like, why stretch for a guy like Burrow? Unless you draft Chase in the first pick and you're able, or the middle, and then able to get him right away, then yeah, double up with Chase and Burrows.
Yeah, I mean, if Chase or Burrows drops to the end of the first round and you've got one of those snake picks, that's a pretty smart move.
Yes.
To even if Chase is gone and Higgins is available, to take Burrow and Higgins, because Higgins is going to throw up 1,200 yards and probably 10 or 12 touchdowns this year.
Easily, because they don't have a defense still, and they're going to be forced to throw every fucking down. Even in that preseason game, Josh, you watched it the other night, the Bengals. Burrow was running for his fucking life. He still had great numbers, which was insane to me, because he played, I think, most of the first half. And he had great numbers, touchdown, all that other shits. He played about a quarter and a half.
I wonder if he would get the yips if he had a good line. Like if you gave, you know how like a fucking
Maybe.
a really good shooter will get the ball and wide open in the corner, and he'll just fucking sit there for too long and break it off the side of the backboard, and you're like, what the fuck happened? It's like your muscle memory goes away if you got too much time. Sometime he's been running for his life, except for that one season, his junior year at LSU, because his redshirt sophomore year, he got the shit kicked out of him all season. We were at that game against Alabama. His line sucked. They got fucked up. They couldn't run the ball either, so they couldn't move it at all. So out of the 7 years he's played high-level football, only one of them has he had a functional offensive line.
I know. And the year he got injured at Ohio State, he had the best line there was, and it sucks because, Haskins came in, became Haskins, and what are you going to do about it? But, ever since then, man, he has had a dog shit line. And like even at LSU, he still had the best running back on the planet at the time. It was it was the guy who killed somebody, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He had Jamar Chase, and then he had Justin Jefferson. That was and Burrow on the same team. It didn't matter what was going on. And I remember that year vividly because that was the Sarah Williams Award.
Yeah.
She was an LSU fan, and
LSU fans were pretty they had been pretty butthurt after, I guess you could say, after
that Alabama loss in the national championship.
Alabama loss, and then and also the fact that Nicholas Lou Saban had left them.
Yep.
Well, he took a pit stop in Miami first, but to go to Alabama and then win all those titles just across the fucking way there, they're like, you son of a bitch.
I know.
And then they finally won. I mean, I understand why she turned into such a piece of shit. There's a lot of pent-up aggression over the years.
I agree. And by the way, like I said this on air because I just couldn't believe what was going on, right? I couldn't believe what was going on with LSU that year. And on the Way Too Early College Prediction Show, I've picked 6 out of the last 8. And I went through the tapes yesterday to go through it, and I did not pick LSU that year. And it was because Dan and I had been to that Alabama game when it was 29-0 with Burrow. And I was like, man, I don't know how he's going to pull himself out of this because you still got to go through Bama and all these other guys. And it was hard to see what was going on. And this is a true story. I can tell it now. But I took my kid. We were living in Wilmington, North Carolina at the time. LSU was playing Oklahoma. That was when it was a 4-team BCS. And it was Burrow. So Burrow was at quarterback. In the first half, he threw 4 touchdowns to Justin Jefferson, and I got to see that team in person for the first time. That was the first time we'd gotten to see him that year, and I was like, oh, fuck. And where we were, I was sitting with all the GMs, most of them from the NFL, because they were there scouting not only LSU, but some of the Oklahoma players, because if you remember correctly, Jalen Hurts was the quarterback of Oklahoma. Now, Jalen Hurts had one of the worst football performances by a quarterback I've ever seen in my life. The GMs were making fun of him in the booth and everything else. They were like, man, I'm not going to pick this fucking guy. He could not complete a pass. And not because guys weren't open. LSU had a good defense, but not like an insane defense. And a lot of the balls were hitting the turf because it was in that Atlanta game. Meanwhile, Burrow is just setting the world on fire with 4 touchdowns in the first half and all that other shit. And they were up by... goddamn, I think at halftime it was 35-0 or 35-7 or something like that. I mean, it was absolutely nuts to see. And the guy who I was with was actually Chris Ballard, who was next to me, who I was kind of talking to because you're in this box area and you still got seats in there. So I was talking to Chris Ballard, who was still the GM of the Colts, and I go, "What do you think of this?" Like, because I'm on Drinkin' Bros, I'm going back on the show and everything else, and he was like, "Man, that kid Burrow is something fucking special," and Justin Jefferson and all this other stuff. And I go, "What do you do with Jalen Hurts?" And he goes, "I wouldn't draft him in a million years." And now he's Super Bowl champion after last year. And the Eagles did something cool where they just built a team around Jalen Hurts essentially, and played to his strengths, played to his weaknesses. I'd also never seen that. And if you would have told me 5 years later the guy with the Super Bowl ring was going to be Jalen Hurts over Joe Burrow after being in that game and then LSU winning the national championship, I would have said, you're fucking insane, dude. You're insane. Because this kid's amazing. But it just goes to show you what an offensive line will do for you. And as I look at this year's draft, I do take offensive line into consideration with some of these quarterbacks. So we'll start with QB, Josh. Who would your dream quarterback be? And then who is somebody you want to stay away from?
I would say the top 3 guys, whether it's Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Daniels, probably Daniels or Allen, though. I just love the way Daniels finished the season. And he actually kind of destroyed the Lions single-handedly in that playoff game. I mean, he was unstoppable.
He did, man. It was incredible.
So I like him. Who would I stay away from?
Burrows? You got Burrow at 4, right, at least?
I love Burrows, but I'd stay away from Mahomes again. I just think he's going to go high. I hate Kyler Murray. Even though he puts up numbers, I don't want to depend on him. I would even, if I'm going to wait, I don't mind waiting for Caleb Williams and Bo Nix. Caleb Williams with Ben Johnson as the OC now, and those weapons and the way he like he made Jared Goff a freaking stud. Like stat-wise passing, Jared Goff's been unbelievable the last couple of years. Not the greatest fantasy guy, but just a solid quarterback. So I'm fine waiting till the 8th round for one of those guys.
Interesting. What about you, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, this is the biggest problem that, to include myself, that human beings have with drafting fantasy quarterbacks is, for some reason, we contextualize it through win losses on the team, and that is completely irrelevant.
Yep.
It does not matter. So if you've got like this combination of a dude that has multiple really good receivers, a guy who's got a good defense is going to get him the ball back a lot, or a guy who's got a shit defense who's going to be throwing a lot later in the game, right? That's a good guy to pick. So Daniel Jones, for example, because he's a two-way guy and that team is going to suck probably, he's probably going to put up some fantasy numbers this year. And because there's so much stink on him, you can almost certainly, I think in most leagues you're going to be able to get him in like round 7, 8, 9.
Probably further than that.
Maybe, but at least there. If you're in a smart league, there's a good chance somebody takes him early just for the reasons that I just said. But if you're in a regular fucking fantasy league out there, Daniel Jones is gold.
Yes, and I just had this conversation with Alex Monaco. Shout out to Monaco. I was on his feed. He was making fun of Daniel Jones, as are we on the NFL show.
I mean, they're going to win 4 games, but he might win you a fucking fantasy title, too.
I think he might throw for 30 touchdowns, 35 touchdowns, because they're going to be down by so much, and they've got decent wide receivers. They've got some great running backs to throw to. He can throw to Jonathan Taylor out of the backfield if he wants to. It's not bad. And right now, I'm looking at ESPN's mock draft here. So this will go back to Josh's points. They don't take a quarterback in the first 2 rounds. I don't see one at all. As a matter of fact, they led off with Jamar Chase this year, which is wild to me. Is that something you would do?
Oh, I don't think I would draft him first overall, just because there's so many quality receivers and there's just not a lot of unbelievable running backs. I mean, there's like 3 or 4 or 5 running backs that are bell cows that you can win a fantasy season with. I mean, look, Dan had Gibbs, I had Gibbs. He also had Montgomery. Most people that won last year had Barkley, Gibbs, or a combination.
Yep.
You've got to have a stud running back, and if you don't, you better have a top 1 tier, like 3 receivers that are number 1 receivers if you're going to win.
Yeah.
If you don't have a running back.
And by the way, again, if you've got one of those snake picks like 10 to 12 in your league, and you have the opportunity to get Montgomery and Gibbs again, you should probably do that. If you're at like pick 9 or 10 and you've got picks 3 or 4 on the other side and Gibbs is available, I would immediately there's no question I'm taking him in that spot, and then taking Montgomery with my very next pick just to make sure I get him.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. So Gibbs his average draft position right now is about 4.
Yeah. So the good news is that you're going to get some. Excuse me. There's a lot of pollution this year. A lot of when I say pollution, I mean new names that are available that weren't, like Ashton Genty, for example, is going super high.
He's going 5 in a lot of drafts.
Because he's on a team that only has 1 receiver threat, which is Brock Bowers. And he's going to be running the ball a lot, and he can catch the ball a lot. In a PPR league, that dude is fucking – I mean, he might be worth taking number 1, to be honest.
So it's interesting you said that, because there were some other drafts where he actually did go 1, and the reason was – they got a new coach. It's obviously Pete Carroll from Seattle, and we saw what he did with Marshawn Lynch.
Pete Carroll likes to throw the ball to his running backs.
To his running backs, and he will run the fuck out of these guys until they're dead. I mean, he did it with Marshawn Lynch. I think he'll do it with Genty. It's just so hard when you look at this Las Vegas team and be like, man, who's your fucking O-line that you're running behind there in Vegas? You know, it's a tough one. I mean, Geno Smith is your quarterback. Do they have a wide receiver? Like, do they have anything?
Jacoby Myers, their wide receiver.
Yeesh.
But you think about, look what Pete Carroll did in USC. Reggie Bush, and who is the other running back?
White.
Lendale White.
Lendale White, yeah.
I mean, he loves to just pound the rock, play action pass, roll out with a waggle or a boot, like counter boot, and then that's where those backs are getting the ball, or the tight end. So I don't even know if Bowers is going to see as many targets in Carroll's offense, though.
Yeah,
which would be a waste.
I know
he's the best tight end
in football.
But whatever.
I know. And as I'm looking at it here, the biggest question mark in round 1, because I do agree with you, it's running backs are always slim every year, and you need at least 2. Or have a sweet flex position with another wide receiver or potentially another tight end, because tight ends have become essential to a lot of these offenses. What do you guys do with Christian McCaffrey? He's averaging 7 here, but he gets hurt, it feels like, every other year, and then he's out for the year.
Yeah, I don't really pick Christian McCaffrey usually for that reason. But here's the problem. It's a sliding scale. It's not like if Christian McCaffrey was a really good player that got hurt sometimes, I would take him in round 7 or 8, but he's a great player that gets hurt sometimes. Mm-hmm. So you can't the value of that draft position is too high to take a guy that's not going to be on the field.
Yeah, I agree. And he burned me, Josh, one year. I took him with the first pick in another league, and he was gone for the year, and I was fucked, essentially. I was playing catch-up.
That was one of the cutthroat killers years.
Yep.
You picked. Yeah. No, I take Derrick Henry over him. Like, why take McCaffrey, to Dan's point? Yep. Who's going to get injured? Now, if he hangs around to the 3rd round, well, there's a decent value, 4th round pick, if he hangs around till there. But people draft him in the 1st round over even Jonathan Taylor. They're idiots.
Yeah, I agree. And also on Derrick Henry, in years past, I would say careful about drafting him number 1. Number 2, running back 2, yes, for sure. And this has nothing to do with his talent. It's just about how he scales throughout the season. Mm-hmm. I've made this point before. Before last year, he had never once in his career had back-to-back 100-yard rushing seasons before week 8, or before week 9, actually. Last year, he had like 4 before week 9. Being on this Ravens team is it's an actual football team for the first time in his career.
Yeah.
Right? And they're serious about blocking and running the ball. And I would take him. He's not a bad number 1 overall pick either, to be honest. Like, if you could get, if you're on that swing, on that snake, and you can get him and Lamar Jackson on the same team, probably a good idea.
Man, I agree. And I think Baltimore is going to be Baltimore again. I don't see them slowing down this year.
No, I don't care what they do in the playoffs. This is not a playoff sport. This is a regular season. How many points do these guys score at their individual position? Sport. That's what this is. And
even Jency, like, even though he's on a shitty team, this is about points and touchdowns and yards and catches, not about if they're going to go to the playoffs, because they're not. And that's something that is always difficult to contend with here, because, you take a guy like, let's take Pat Mahomes, for example, or in the Chiefs. They sat out the last game of the year. Well, a lot of people are still playing in fantasy football the last game of the year. So do you want to take potentially the best team in the league that's going to sit out the last week? Maybe not. In our league, we're switching it this year so that it ends in 17, not 18. So that way, you don't have to fuck around with these guess picks of who's going to sit out and everything else. Reason being is I have a tattoo on my ass from Derek Wolfe because of it, because the entire Chiefs sat out, and Travis Kelce laughed in my face on the field and said, "Why the fuck did you do that, Russ?" Like, it was...
Well, nobody knew at the time.
No, but...
there was a decent chance that it was going to happen.
He goes, "Dude, we're the Chiefs, man. What the fuck do you think we're like? We're awesome. We're gonna win the fucking Super Bowl." And by the way, he thought they were going to win the Super Bowl last year, and he said it like stone cold. And I was just like, "All right, shit." I believed it. All right, next up, we'll go to wide receivers here. Josh, let's go top wide receivers, because CeeDee Lamb is going very, very high. In a lot of these drafts right now, he's averaging 8 to 9 right now in the 1st round. That seems a little much to me.
Yeah, I mean, Jamar Chase, I think, the best. Justin Jefferson, talent-wise, sure, but...
J.J. McCarthy.
Is McCarthy really going to be the dude to get him the ball nonstop? Who knows? I don't like the Cowboys at all. I think Neighbor's going to have a breakout year, especially if Dart's the quarterback, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown just gets the targets, and it's PPR. I love that dude.
Yeah.
I think those are top 4.
Yeah, those guys are fucking great. And, oh, man. Malik Neighbors and Russell Wilson. God damn it. It's just so hard to get out of my mouth. Like, Russell Wilson is going to be his quarterback.
Russell Wilson drops dimes. If you can protect him, a guy that runs routes like Malik Neighbors does, Russell Wilson is kind of the style of quarterback you want throwing to him, because he's got the ability to get between the linebackers and the safeties. And that's the thing that Russell Wilson is best at, is dropping that ball right there 30 to 35 yards away. There might not be anybody better in the NFL at that specific throw than him. So, and then Malik Neighbors has escape speed as well, right?
Yep,
so you're going to get some fucking touchdowns down the sideline that look like it's a college football game sometimes for them. I guarantee you, probably 2 or 3 this year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a monster year for him. Amon Ra St. Brown, however the fuck you pronounce it. It's a bunch of fucking syllables, letters. Let's buy a consonant here. Pat. He's going in the first round as a wide receiver. Who else? Justin Jefferson's going pretty high. A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is still going pretty high, and rightfully so.
Well, A.J. Brown, I took him first, and I got him at 11.
Okay.
Last year, which is super fucking low in my opinion. This year, you should, if you have the opportunity to take him, if you're in the first half of the first round, you should take him. If depending on if there's somebody better that you like, or somebody that you like better, take them, I guess. But he's definitely a first half of the first round guy because Barkley's carries are going down this year. Mm-hmm. They're not going to stress him like they did last year. And the number one dude, other than him, right?
Yep.
Take him.
Yeah. I mean, it's, yeah. And I love Malik Neighbors. I just can't get over the Russell Wilson-ness of it, And maybe it's the tattoo that says, "Let's ride" on my ass. I'm not sure, but that one's a tough one for me. I want to ask you guys about this Devon Achane guy for fucking Miami.
Devon Achane, yeah, he's great, yeah.
He's going really fucking high. Do you believe in the Dolphins this year, Josh?
No,
I don't. Points.
I do think that guy's a stud, and I believe in him. And I think if Tua's noggin is okay, they're going to freaking put points on the board, and they're going to move the ball. Mike McDaniels, as weird as he is a pretty damn good offensive coordinator.
Yeah, he really is, and he's going pretty high. Jonathan Taylor's going pretty high. I think he'll have a decent year. Let's see who else wide receiver-wise.
Well, I mean, Ladd McConkey is one you haven't mentioned yet.
No.
It's going to fucking destroy this year. I expect Ladd McConkey has somewhere between 1,400 and 1,600 yards this year.
A lot of people are saying that. Do you agree with that,
He's
Josh?
going to be their primary threat.
Yeah,
they're going to run 2 running backs. They've got now a blocking and a receiving tight end. So because they got Ty Conklin over from the Jets, and he's going to be their primary target all season, and he's going to be bailing out fucking what's his nuts on third downs all year. He's going to put up fucking monster numbers. This guy.
Yep, they're going to just sit in 12 personnel or 22 personnel, and he's going to be the main threat. I think he has a huge breakout season. He's a dude I want to draft this year.
Let me ask you about Jackson Smith and Jigma. He's going right around the 3rd round in most of these drafts.
That's low, to be honest. But if you can get him there, take him there.
Who is the quarterback? Who is the starting quarterback though in Seattle this year?
Oh,
that's right.
And they're gonna run that same Minnesota offense too. He's gonna put up numbers. I'm telling you, he's gonna have 4,500 yards this year, and a lot of them are gonna go to Jackson Smith and Jigma, who had a bit of a breakout year last year. This is gonna be his big breakout year this year.
Yeah,
he's gonna light it up there. He's now the number one target. He's the number one target up there now. Fucking homeboy's gone to Pittsburgh. It's just him.
DK Metcalf.
I mean, it's not just him, but he's the dude now, which is what he deserves to be because he's one of the best receivers in the NFL.
And the complimentary guy to him is Cooper Kupp now, because Cooper Kupp's in Seattle.
Veteran.
That's right. And he's still good, by the way.
He can run routes.
He's got a lot to prove, and he's had some injuries and some concussions, but Cooper Kupp is still great. If he's healthy, holy shit, that could really open up the field for Jackson Smith and Jigma. He could have a huge year. Ladd McConkey, by the way, average pick, end of the 2nd round, in most of the mock drafts I've seen. So
that's
the secret's out.
I mean, that's I would take him there for
sure. Yeah, secret's out on Ladd McConkey here. What about Drake London? Drake London's going pretty high as well for Atlanta. Here's what I've heard out of camp in Atlanta, that Kirk Cousins looks amazing and could potentially be the starter, and it's not going to be Penix. Do you even trust Drake London? I get asked this question about Falcons players every fucking year, and I just say, dude, I don't know. Same with Kyle Pitts. I get the Kyle Pitts question every year from friends of mine, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what this team is. I have zero idea. Now, again, in camp, you're on year 2 for this Achilles thing with Kirk Cousins, and he's supposed to have had this lights-out camp, and everybody believes in him down there this year. What do you do with Drake London or any of the Falcons players besides Bijan Robinson?
I would take Pitts as like on a later round tight end. I think I would trust that more because it's more of a security blanket for a quarterback that's maybe lost his arm strength with the deep ball or those deep 20-yard comebacks. But I agree. I don't know if I touch Drake London. I just
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think I touch him. I do take Pitts sometime in the 7th, 8th, or 9th. And if it's true, the ceiling's way higher and the risk is way lower with him than Drake London.
Mm-hmm.
So take him in the same general time frame. And if he is performing, if Kirk Cousins is lighting it up, move Pitts into your fucking flex for the rest of the year, and you're golden. I mean, nobody's going to have a flex like that. If that guy performs like he's capable, you'll be pretty fucking good right there.
Yeah, and I'm looking at some of the other running backs and players here who are going pretty high up.
Well, here's one that I think everybody should be paying attention to.
Okay.
Is Omarion Hampton.
Yep.
Right? And the reason is because Najee Harris had a great year last year, and he's had a string of them, actually. But he's coming into camp hurt this year. He still hasn't taken a fucking snap yet. And there's no indication he's going to take a snap for the next week or two. Hampton is going to be the 1B to his 1A this season on a team that's going to run the fuck out of the ball all year.
Yep.
Omarion Hampton also happens to be a great pass catcher out of the backfield. I think, what did he catch, like 50 balls last year at UNC, and UNC sucks.
I know.
So you're talking about a Harbaugh coach team that has 2 big tight ends, one of whom can catch the ball really well, a great wide receiver. They're going to be using this dude. I
think he's got a shot at Offensive Rookie of the Year this year because, look, I watched Harbaugh for, 10 years, and that's all he does is run the fucking ball over and over again, usually with 2 backs. Hampton might be the first option. And
I think it's almost a guarantee at this point right now, at least for the first couple of weeks, he's going to be the first option. And also, people that don't watch this show are going to draft him in the 3rd or 4th round. So, which means you can get him. If you're one of the early picks and you're going to have like one of the first 3 picks in the 3rd round, you can probably get him there, which is way like I don't know where Najee Harris is going. He's hurt right now, so he's probably fallen down a little bit. But
I think he's still the backup though to Omarion Hampton. I would, if I'm Harbaugh, I run Hampton first. Let's Harris get healthy over the season, kind of ease him into the schedule there, and then just do a 1-2 combo, kind of like with Gibbs and Ty Montgomery.
Yeah, well, if you have like an early 3rd round pick, you now have the capability to go wide receiver and wide receiver running back or running back wide receiver in rounds 1 and 2 instead of having to load up on one or the other, even if you're handcuffing. So it's I think he's going to have a great year this year. Also, by the way, Kenneth Walker III is way down the list on most of these mock drafts in the 3rd or 4th round. In a lot of them. Kenneth Walker III he had a bit of a shake last year because that offense was all discombobulated. He's going to put up fucking 1,300 yards this year.
Yeah.
That dude's going to light it the fuck up.
He could have a great year.
And also,
here.
by the way, out in a lot of the mock drafts I've seen the last 2 days, Alvin Kamara is going ahead of him. Do not, under any circumstances, draft Alvin Kamara unless it's in like the 12th, the 15th rounds.
I think the Saints could be the worst team in the league this year.
Yeah, and we've seen maybe a 23-year-old Alvin Kamara could overcome the problems they have there, but this guy he's not going to be, it's not his fault.
No.
On a good team, this dude would put up big numbers, but they're fucking terrible.
And their window for Super Bowl is closing, and so is Kamara's. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't see him having a good year here. Who's a good sleeper pick for you, Josh?
I don't know if it's a sleeper, but I like, for whatever reason, I think it's a risk, but DeAndre Swift in Ben Johnson's offense, because he's on the downward slide of his career, but he's built kind of like he's that scat back type of guy that's going to catch a ton of balls out of the backfield for the Bears. And with what Ben Johnson did with the movement, with moving backs around and putting him at receiver, motioning and shifting him, getting into a wing and different mismatches with linebackers, I think he's a guy that's a great flex player. If you can get him, lower rounds, if he falls that far. I also like Scattaboo.
He's on my list.
I know he's on my list too, dude. I got him ahead of DeAndre Swift. Right now, DeAndre Swift is going end of the 4th, beginning of the 5th in a lot of mock drafts. But a Scattaboo, I love the kid.
And he's a lot of people don't know it. He went to Sac State before he went to Arizona State. He was a Sac State guy and just made a living running people over.
He's a beast, man. Yeah. I got to see him in person. He's so much bigger than you can imagine in real life. And God damn it, he's a fucking truck. It's like a white Marshawn Lynch almost, like the way he's built. And he can just run the fuck people over, dude. And he's a really fun player to watch.
There's a couple of more. Abuka, if he's not on your radar, he fucking should be.
Yeah.
Especially the first half of the season, he's going to be catching a lot of balls. He might have 50 receptions by midway through the season. just because of the way they play ball down there. And Bucky Irving, by the way, fucking lights out too. So they're going to have a very functional offense.
Bucky's going in second round in a lot of these mock
drafts. He'll be first or second. He should be if you're smart. The other one that's kind of it's only because of his position that I would consider him a sleeper. But Tyler Warren from Penn State
love that kid.
He's going to be the first tight end that I've ever seen be used in the way that Deebo Samuel's used in the NFL. And especially considering the backfield they already have with Jonathan Taylor there, he's going to be used on end arounds or not even end arounds, put in an I formation and go just like what he did at Penn State.
Yeah, man.
And for a dude that's that size that has escape speed. Now I know that's college versus the NFL, but they're going to be able to open lanes for this dude. So he's going to be running the ball some. He's going to be catching a fuck ton of balls, especially if it's Daniel Jones starting there, right? He's going to be catching a lot of passes. They're going to suck, but that offense is going to be pretty interesting to watch to see how it all comes together.
I'm tuning in to watch Colts games. I am. It's a weird, interesting team with a lot of fantasy guys.
How could you not like Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor? Pittman's always been good.
Yes.
But Tyler Warren, too. Like, he's a very unique player. We haven't seen.
I loved watching him play, man, in college.
Like the way Travis Kelce was unique in catching those under passes and then being able to run the ball or that straight line up the middle, kind of like what Gronk used to do, like that fucking beeline up the middle. And if he's open, he's open. You hit him, and he can actually run the ball a little bit. Tyler Warren is a better runner than either of those two guys, right? So it's going to be very interesting to see how that big motherfucker, he's like 260 pounds, and he's running like a mid-4 or something like that, gets down the field.
Josh, Dan and I went to the Penn State-Ohio State game last year and got to see that kid play, and my God, he's impressive.
He's a fucking animal. He's 6'5", 260.
It's just, it's to see him in real life, because, we're always either on the field or, right above it, first row, whatever it is. Shout out to drinkingbrostickets.com, obviously, but it helps when you own your own fucking business. But with that, it helps us bet and gamble on a lot of these games. Seeing that guy's size in real life, it really is hard to wrap your mind around, because he's so quick, he's so big.
4.68 on the 40.
God,
and he's
damn.
6'5", 260. And he's got great hands.
Yep. He never drops a pass.
Doesn't fumble. I mean, he's going to do some weird shit in the NFL. And I don't know who the OC in Indy is. But you're getting a whole bunch. Like Jonathan Taylor's been there, Pittman's been there. You're getting two very new and very dynamic offensive players, and it's going to be interesting to see how they put that together. There's a really high ceiling on that offensively.
Yes.
The rest of that team, TBD.
Yeah, I don't know about their defense, but offensively, who knows? And then Daniel Jones, he's going to actually have somewhat of a decent line in Indy, where he never had one at the Giants. Yeah. So, yeah.
Again, we'll see if he's got PTSD too, though, right?
No.
Because at no point in his career has he been allowed to do a 5 or 7 step drop. It's just not been a thing. And if it was a 5-step drop, it was a 5-step and run. You know what I mean? Like a planned run, like a 5-step and a quarterback run, like a called play. He's never been able to have that opportunity before. We'll see what he's got going on upstairs. You know what I mean? Is he a smart guy that just has been rushed for a while, or is he a meathead that has to run full speed all the time? Because Josh Allen, that's what we thought he was.
Yes.
But it turns out last year, that dude's fucking a really good decision maker. So,
yeah, we'll find out what happens. My biggest sleeper this year is TreVeyon Henderson from New England.
He's on my list, too.
His preseason has been lights out. He's been returning kickoffs for touchdowns, rushing touchdowns when he's healthy. Because he played for Ohio State for, I think, all 4 seasons he was there. It was just because of injuries. He was injured 2 of those 4 seasons there. When he is healthy, he's one of the greatest I've ever seen in real life. The problem is he's only stayed healthy 1 year.
Yeah, he gets
in
banged
college
up sometimes. There's escape speed at the college level, and then there's escape speed in the NFL, and he's got the second.
Yep.
So, and then with Drake May,
we'll
see, right?
I know.
I think Vrabel is an excellent football mind.
So do I.
I don't know what their offensive coordinating capabilities are going to be this year, but if he can just develop them and get them to the next step and show that they're serious and attract a good OC to come in, maybe they have one. I don't know the guy, but if they get a good OC in there, there's a lot of potential for that team in the next couple of years.
Well, if you look at New England, just as a team as a whole here, they got Drake May at quarterback. You got TreVeyon Henderson splitting carries with Stevenson, Stevenson's a fucking awesome running back. The two of those guys will be split in carries.
Oh, it's Josh McDaniels.
Oh, shit. That's right. They brought him back.
Okay. He's got to be fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's going to be fine.
He's been languishing a little bit, but he was the Patriots quarterbacks coach with Brady from 12 to 21. Well, 12 until Brady left, actually. So, yeah, he's probably going to be fine.
So, yeah, Travion Henderson, average round is going in the 4th or the 5th. I think that's a really good one. Some players that are going really late that I don't really understand here is I'll take Garrett Wilson, for example. He's got his college quarter back there with Justin Fields. They've had that rapport for 4 years in college together. Now they're back together. I assume he's going to get a ton of balls in that offense because this is it for Fields. This is his prove-it year, or he's going to be a career backup in the NFL forever. So he's got to go for broke this year. Otherwise, he's not going to get that massive contract that he wants and thinks he deserves. How do you think those guys are going to perform this year?
Terrible, underperform. I think Fields is just not a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Really?
Good college quarterback. I think he's a niche player. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. But, hey, I could be wrong. I love Garrett Wilson, but I just don't know if he can do it. Here's
where I'm lost on Fields. In college, he never ran the football. He never ran the football because he had a great offensive line, and he just kept chucking the ball. I think he had 6 touchdowns against Clemson, which sent a BCS record, for Christ's sakes. And then he got his ribs broke on that last throw to, I think it was Olave in the end zone there. So it was strange to see him go to the NFL with the Bears and then just run every fucking down. And then he goes to the Steelers, and Tomlin just kind of limits him for the first 4 games where it was like, hey, dude, let's just run the ball. They went 4-0. And then, great, now we're going to turn it over to Russell Wilson. I don't know who he is as a quarterback because who he was in college is totally different of how he was in the NFL. And does that 4 years fuck with you enough mentally that you're just no longer good anymore and you got PTSD?
I think it's the college passing game. I mean, Ohio State, that was a fast-paced, it's a half of the field read, right? So a lot of it's give pass options. So pre-snap read, look at your leverage. I'm either handing off to the running back. I'm not going to pull and run. If I pull, I'm throwing the slant to Olave.
Yeah.
So I think like when you get those fast-paced offenses in college, and it's like in high school, if you're only giving a quarterback a half a field to read, it's a lot easier than when you get to the NFL. Not only is there pre-snap reads, there's kills. You've got 1 to 4 progressions to go through. It's just way different. And that's what I think happened with him.
Jesus Christ, dude. After talking to you for an hour, I realize why you're winning every fucking year. I mean, this is nuts, dude. The way you're breaking this shit down. It's amazing. What do you do with DK Metcalf then for Pittsburgh? He's averaging right around the 5th or 6th round right now.
I take him. It's DK. I mean, big plays there. And if he's busts, hopefully you drafted another receiver that you can afford to get rid of him and pick someone up on the waiver wire. I think he's worth the risk in the 6th round.
Yeah, I mean, if you in the 6th round, you could have he would be a backup receiver at that point in most people's drafts.
Yeah.
He would be your 3rd guy, which means if he works, he's a flex.
Yes.
So
the obvious question then next, and then I'll throw this to you, Danthony, is what do you do with Aaron Rodgers?
Nothing. Under no circumstances do I draft Aaron Rodgers.
Josh?
Yeah, no way.
It's it's tough for me because they've got
nope. There's ceiling. There's no ceiling for him. You know what I mean?
Like they have such a good defense, though.
Yeah, that's right. Which means the reason that Tomlin has never had a losing season is not because he lets his quarterback go out there and sling it.
True.
It's because he manages the game.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he's going to do with a 42-year-old quarterback.
You know what you do? You draft him with your 14th pick, Dan. If you got a pick to waste, you draft him there hoping he throws 2 long touchdowns to DK every game.
Yeah. I was just going to ask you that. Is that your backup quarterback this year? And do you draft a backup quarterback any year, or do you just go waiver wire?
No, I usually draft. If there's 2 guys that I like or I think I'm going to like, I draft them, or otherwise I go waiver wire.
Okay, I do the same. I always draft a backup quarterback just in case. I've gotten burns in seasons past. I've been playing fantasy football for probably 25 years now at this point, every single year.
There's always so many goddamn injuries.
There's so many injuries, yes. And I made the mistake a long, long time ago. If you lose your starting quarterback, you're fucked. It happened to me way, way back in the day with Dante Culpepper. That's how far back, I've got PTSD with that motherfucker. Man, he had an awesome year for me, rookie year, and then after that got hurt. Last but not least here, tight ends. Who you go with first? Where do you usually draft at tight ends? Because Sometimes I see it in the first round. I like every fucking draft, somebody will take a tight end in the first round. Josh, what do you do?
Third round, if you can get like top 3 guys, like if you could get Bowers or McBride, I think you reach in third round. Otherwise, you wait. Like I think Dan was one of his sleepers was Warren. You wait, and then you freaking scoop one of those dudes up there. And if you still can't get that, then you wait and get a Kyle Pitts, and then take a chance on a rookie guy, or wait and play the waiver wire to see who's doing well.
Yeah, because I love Dan's guy. That's who I'm looking at later in this draft. I don't take a tight end in the first round either, but it does happen every single year in one of these leagues, and it's always shocking to me where you're like, what the fuck? But occasionally a tight end will pop up and have a career year, and you're like, maybe I should do it.
You know what's really funny to me is if you read all of the ESPN guys' rankings for tight end, Tyler Warren comes in average the 12th best tight end.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
Which means that we'll see about the draft. Our people actually pay. This is a league of champions, so you're not going to get Ty Warren and fucking the 12th round. I promise you that, right?
Not in this league.
Mostly because he's a dual threat, but also because he's super talented at that position. That's who I'll be looking for, but there's a ton of good dudes. This isn't it's not 2015 anymore. There's a shitload of really good tight ends in the NFL now that put up fucking numbers. He mentioned Bowers and McBride. Fucking Sam Laporta's really good. If he stays healthy, Hawkinson's going to have a big year this year because Homeboy's going to have to throw a lot of checkdowns, I think.
Yeah.
It's going to be either Jefferson or check down all season long. Addison, too, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What about Evan Ingram?
Evan Ingram over in Denver is going to be a big one too, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess
they're on the fucking upswing right now.
That'll lead me to Bo Nix. Where do you go with Bo Nix?
Did I do the thing?
You sure did. You just did a Heil Hitler there on screen.
Got me.
So that
I believe
happens.
Bo Nix, when I was looking at that list earlier, was a top 8 quarterback in fantasy last year.
Yeah, he's going in the top 8 rounds. Josh, do you take
like 7th or 8th round? I would take a flyer. I like Bo Nix. I mean, I think it's worth it. 6 to 8 right now, if depending on what it's available. I think I mentioned it earlier. I like him targeting as my quarterback.
And by the way, between so Lamar Jackson was way above everyone, but from 2 to 9, it was a really small difference.
Yep.
Total fantasy points for the season.
Yeah. And also, again, like I said, tight end's a saturated position now. We didn't mention Kelsey, or George Kittle, or Njoku, or Mark Andrews, who came back last year and had a good season. There's a lot of dudes out there. You don't have to – if there's not a tight end who you think this is a difference maker for me, don't take him until the 6th or 7th round. Probably, right?
Yes.
I mean, there's no reason to, really.
Because, according to the Ghosts of Christmas Past here, usually tight ends are thin. This year – there's actually a plethora of tight ends, so you can wait and afford to get somebody later on
I'll also
in the
say
draft.
Zach Ertz should be a sleeper for you because came back and had a really good season last year. Also, if for some reason Scary Terry doesn't end up on the Redskins, Zach Ertz targets are going to go up by about 40%.
Yeah,
when they get down into the red zone, especially, he's going to be a primary target for Jaden Daniels because there's only a couple of guys on that team. Scary Terry, for whatever reason, he's not a big dude, but on the run, in the air, jumping in the air, catching passes, he's one of the best in the NFL at doing that. Zach Ertz also happens to be really good at doing that, but he's 6'5", right? So keep an eye on that. If Scary Terry, for some reason, something happens between now and your draft Zach Ertz at some point, I would say.
The guy that nobody's talking about, Josh, and I wanted to ask you about was Deebo Samuel. He's at Washington.
And they're planning on fully using him. Brian Robinson's gone.
He's gone.
They're either going to trade or cut him this week.
Yep. And so with Deebo Samuel, that guy has been under the fucking radar, dude, and no one has talked about him. Average draft position here is the 9th round. And most of these mock drafts, where do you go with Deebo Samuel?
If you can get him in the 9th, I'd take him there. I wouldn't take him earlier. I wouldn't take him 7 or earlier just because he hasn't been able to stay healthy. He was on some really good 49ers teams with a lot of weapons where he got one-on-one coverage, and he still just finds a way to get hurt. And, a lot of guys are like that. But to Dan's point about Scary Terry, he's also one of the best receivers in scramble drill. Like scramble drill, when the quarterback is flushed outside the pocket, you have an athletic guy in Daniels, he adjusts. Because we always tell him, if you're short, go away. If you're away, come across. If you're deep, come forward. He does a phenomenal job coming across from the other side of the ball.
And signaling.
Scramble draw.
Yep. You just got to, Scary Terry's a smart guy. He's just, really good at – you can go watch the video of the tape with him and Daniels all year last year. just like half of the touchdowns, I think he had 14, half of the touchdowns he caught were broken plays where he's like flagging Daniels down, like, hey, I'm going this way. Just like a quick, it's almost like Gronk and fucking Brady back in the day.
Yeah, it's going to be a really fun team to watch. Do you see any sophomore slump for Daniels this year?
Nope. I just think they've got a great defense. They've got a solid like cast of characters around him, and I think he peaked at the end of the season in that playoff game with the Lions. I don't see the sophomore slump from him. I could be wrong, but I think I'm all in on him. It's
going to be a really fun team to watch up there with all these guys. I mean, shit, Debo, Scary Terry, ends up signing the contract, and then obviously the second year at Daniels. Shit, dude. It could be a really fucking fun team that could do a lot of damage this year. While I have you here, because we don't bother to talk about kickers or defenses. Those should always go last, in my opinion, the last 2 picks of the draft. So there's no need, and it's way, way, way too impossible to pick who's going to be, or predict, who's going to be a great defense, simply because an Aaron Rodgers could go down or your quarterback could go down, and then your defense is on the field the entire fucking game. And like that's what happened to me with the Jets last year. They got torched every fucking game by like 35 points. So yeah, go last with defenses and kickers.
Yeah, I will say on the defense thing, I want to reiterate this. A team that has a solid running back who doesn't get hurt, like Baltimore, for example, and also a good defense, or a team that has a really good defense and has multiple running backs like Detroit or Denver, those should be attractive to you. Same thing with the Chargers, by the way. Those should be attractive defense to you for those very reasons.
Yes, but the Lions, their entire defense got injured last year, and it was
it did. But that's like,
so unpredictable.
That part you can't you can't plan for that.
I know.
On paper, that defense is going to be. They actually got some more dudes this year. They're going to be really good, and if Gibbs and Montgomery stay relatively healthy all season, that defense is going to hold people to probably in the low 20s. I would guess.
Yeah. And if you look at their forced fumbles or their caused fumbles with Hutchinson, if he's helping in the pass rush, the Lions were top 3 the last 2 years. I drafted them in most leagues, their defense, because of how many times they get those strip sacks and how many times they force the ball on the ground, because there's points right there.
Yeah. And Josh, I know you got to go coach the kids here. Last question for you. Who do you got in the Super Bowl, and who do you got winning it all this year?
Oh, my God. I put money on the Lions already. That's kind of a
you dirtbag, yeah.
I'm a Lions fan. I don't see him doing it. I just want it to be the Eagles. I don't really know. I don't want it to be the Eagles. I don't want it to be the Chiefs. So I'll be happy with anyone else. I mean, if Baltimore can turn into a freaking playoff team and not just the best team in the regular season.
The Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they've got all the pieces, and I think the Bills do as well. But
I really want to see Derrick Henry make a deep run into the playoffs.
We all do.
He gets stronger as the year. He's like the only running back that I've ever seen that gets stronger as the year goes on.
Yeah.
That guy in January, early February, that's what I want to see, just running people over.
And you have the Redskins in Denver, I think, this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've got the Chiefs winning it with Taylor Swift doing the halftime show. I'm all in on the narrative, the script, everything else. And I think Kelsey retires, walks off with the MVP. I'm even calling that as well. I think Mahomes gets him the MVP and all that other shit, but I've got him going against the Lions.
Hey, I like it. I mean, and I could see that script. That would be a great way to end a storied career.
It would. It would. So, shit. He'll probably be the guy on ESPN next year on Monday night. Josh McClurg, best in the biz. You may or may not pop up in the next St. James Street James book, by the way, the final one, the final inch that comes out November 11th. That was another one of our fantasy football bets years ago because you were a fan of the series that, hey, if I win the championship, you have to put my name in the book, which I did. So the McClurg is when you rape another man. Come on as Josh. You know what he...
Yeah. It's great.
You got to rip out his hair. You got to pump him full of 16 ounces of semen and then take a dump on his back afterwards. And that's the McClurg. And it's been pretty famous.
A quick funny story about that. So kid on my football team, he's a senior now. His dad is really good friends with Justin, the guy from SEAL Team.
Melnick, he's actually coming in today.
Yeah, he'll be in like 20 minutes.
So this guy's dad's last name is Rossler, and he's really good friends with Justin. They hang out all the time. We're at football practice last year, this time, and he comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, coach, sucks you got McClurg. And I said, "Did you read the book?" He goes, "Yeah, my dad and I listened to it. Justin told us to listen to it."
It's funny, man, how far that series has gone, dude. Spotify just named it to their top 100 audiobooks of all time. And so it's on Spotify, too. Like, it's been fun. And this is what makes it fun, too, by the way, with the listeners and the community and everything else and involving you guys. You've always been a great dude. You're the greatest fantasy football player I've ever seen. So much so that we're stacking it. So Dan and I will be in this league this year. We'll be drafting on Labor Day night. I will put up a post in Drinkin Bros Sports on Facebook. It is free to join. You can see our bet slips, everything else. You must provide 2 to 3 championship screenshots to go against Josh McClurg. If you win this year, Jesus Christ, Josh, I don't know what to do with you at this point.
We'll have to McClurg him, I guess.
I guess, dude. I mean, it's nuts. But after talking to you for an hour, holy fuck. It's now I understand why you keep winning every year, for Christ's sakes.
It's so much of a shithouse luck, though, too.
It is, but like, dude, 3 trophies, 2 Super Bowl losses, and I mean, that's fucking nuts in that league. That's the best league I've ever been in my entire life. So
yeah, fun.
Yeah, congratulations, man. And looking forward to this upcoming fantasy football season. You can bet with us, against us on all your favorite players at mybookie.com. Make sure you use that promo code DrinkinBros to double that first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Rate this show a 5-star on iTunes and leave a quick review. Spotify, all the videos are up. So this video will be up tonight on Spotify. That is the whole catalog of Tetherball Academy Media. Will eventually be video on Spotify. Sports channel, though, is every single day. The video will be up there on Spotify, and you can watch Josh McClurg there. Good luck this season, Coach. Let us know if you win a state title, all right?
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. We appreciate it. For Josh McClurg, Danthony Hollaway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the 2025 Fantasy Football Preview Show.